Welcome back, I'm Sean, and today we're checking out two gaming mice from Hecate, one cabled and one wireless, to see which of these mice will give you the best advantage when gaming. So let's check it out. So these Hecate mice is part of Hecate's line of gaming peripherals, and this unit today was sent over to me by Edifier for review, and this is not a sponsored post, and my review will be based on my honest and unbiased opinion. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future tech reviews. So this G3M Pro here, which is the wireless version, comes in at a very friendly price of $50 or about 245 Malaysian ringgit, which is coincidentally the same price as the Hecate G4M, which is the wired version mouse we have here today. So at least now you know that price is not a factor for you to choose between these two mice. So if you're interested in getting them, do check out my links in the description below. So let's talk about the design of the wireless mouse first, which is the G3M Pro. So the first thing that you notice with this mouse is that it's super lightweight, and picking it up, comparing it to my Logitech MX Master 3S here, the G3M Pro actually weighs like feather. Weight-wise, the G3M Pro comes in at 63 grams, where the MX Master 3X comes in at 141 grams, which is more than twice the weight of the Hecate. And speaking of weight here, many gaming mice today, at least the middle to high-end ones, allow users to add their own weights to customize how it feels while moving or lifting the mice for accuracy, which the G3M Pro here doesn't offer. And although being light is beneficial for dexterity, agility, and aim, it's good to see future mouse from Hecate that allows you to customize the weight as well. So overall, you get a very gamer aggressive look to this mouse, and buttons wise, and you're getting a couple here which is customizable but nothing too crazy, but you do get the standard left and right as well as the scroll wheel, and the scroll wheel also clicks. Here, this one over here is a DPI button in the middle, as well as a forward and backwards button at the side here. So underneath the mouse, you get the on and off button over here, and you also get a very unique switch at the top here to switch between gaming mode or silent mode. So this is more gaming mode, and if you were to flick up this switch into silent mode, so you can take a listen, this is how it sounds like. So silent mode is very quiet without any tactile feedback. And the cool thing about this is that you can toggle them mechanically and individually, so you can have one which is silent and one which is tactile if you prefer it that way. Also at the bottom here, you get a cover to store your 2.4 GHz dongle if you're not using it. So for a gaming mouse, the design here is quiet with no RGBs anywhere, only an LED indicator at the top here to tell you the current DPI that you're in, so you can swap them on the fly while gaming without needing to go into an app, which is pretty standard in most gaming mouse. Well, ideally, I'll be comparing this to the G4M Pro, which is a wireless version of this mouse here today, but today I'm gonna have the wired version. But this is what I was sent by Edifier, so let's take a look here. I still think there are benefits to a wired mouse, especially in gaming, because you remove the equation of latency, which no matter how you slice it, even with the 2.4 GHz dongles, you will still have some form of latency. So size-wise, you're getting a similar treatment here, but the G4M is definitely a slightly cooler mouse with the RGB that shines through the Hecate logo at the bottom here, as well as the scroll wheel. That aside, you also get the left and right buttons, as well as the scroll wheel and the button, and you get additional two buttons on each side of the mouse that you can customize. And in the case of this mouse, you get the DPI button here, as well as the RGB switch in the middle, as well as the Hertz button, which is the polling rate of the mouse. So with the G4M, there is no silent clicker here with this mouse, only the clicky ones. And there is also a nice braided cable that links to a USB-A input here. And honestly, I wish that the cable here could be removed and replaced as it gets worn out, but it seems like it's attached permanently to the mouse. And unlike the G3M Pro that you can also use with the wire, and Edifier also gives you the same braided cable, but this time it connects through a USB-C input, so it's easier for you to swap it out in the future. In terms of weight, this is heavier than the G3M Pro at 75 grams, which is not that much because it has an extra cable sticking out. And cable wise, you're getting a 1.8 meter cable, which is decently long to run this to your PC, which would be good if you could see a longer cable, maybe at 2.2 or 2.8 meters long. Depending on what type of mouse users you are, you would either prefer a flatter profile mouse or a slightly chunkier mouse that gives you more surface area to grip on. The G3M Pro is definitely a flatter mouse, and I do see myself hovering on top of the mouse, which is more like a grab and finger style mouse, so you don't get to rest your palm so much, which I personally don't prefer. That's why I got a chunkier mouse like the MX Master 3S as my productivity mouse. So the G4M here definitely fares better as it has a more ergonomic hum right up here. So I could rest my palms up here, so more of a palm grab and finger style mouse. And this is honestly by no means a high or ergonomic mouse. As you can see, the hum from the MX Master 3 is actually a lot higher, but it's still a very nice mouse in my opinion, very comfortable to use for long hours. So if you like this mouse but want a wireless version, definitely consider the G4M Pro. So let's talk a little bit about the specs here. The G3M Pro has a DPI rate between 50 to 26,000 DPI, which is all fun and games for on paper performance, but in real life, rarely, or maybe I don't know any gamers around me that actually goes beyond 4,000 DPIs. And honestly, the higher your DPI goes, the faster the mouse moves and it's harder to control your mouse. So if you ever use anything above 4, 5 or 8,000 DPI, it's honestly quite hard to control your mouse already. So maybe you have a use case for crazy fast DPI, so let me know in the comments below. And on the other hand, the G4M comes with a 16,000 DPI sensor. So as for the polling rate, both mouse here has a max of 1000 Hz, which is pretty good for most gaming mouse nowadays, and you should have pretty lag-free experience here. But again, it's not a 2000 Hz mouse that you can find on some higher end mouse. So both of these mouse also comes with a max 50 G of acceleration, so meaning if you have sudden crazy jerks or movements, your mouse can still track accurately. I've also researched this, and the human shoulders can only generate a maximum of 20 G, so however fast you move it, you won't lose track of your. So this also coincides with the IPS of the mouse, and the G3M Pro has a max tracking speed of 650 IPS, and the G4M comes in slower at 400 IPS, which honestly is still plenty good. So the G3M Pro also comes with a 70-hour battery life, which also has an auto sleep feature that is useful for you to save your battery life. And the G3M Pro also is a tri-mode mouse, so meaning you get to use your mouse with Bluetooth mode, wired mode, or also the 2.4 GHz dongle mode. So both of these mice also come supported with the Hecate desktop app, so let's take a look at that. So the app here is called Hecate Connect Desktop App, and this currently works only on a Windows-based PC. And if you want to use the G3M Pro with the Hecate app, you need to plug it in via cable, and it won't work with Bluetooth or 2.4 GHz dongle. So both of these mice here have the same app, with the difference that G4M comes with the additional light or RGB settings. Everything else here is the same for the two mice. So at the first page here, you're going to get your mouse, and you get to customize the button settings on your mouse, and you can click on any of the mouse buttons that you see here to configure them to do a list of things, and also assign macro features to the button. And the macro features here can be set at the macro management section that you see later on. So as mentioned, the G4M gets the light settings, and here you get 6 different presets that you can choose from, or just customize it to how you like it with the speed, brightness, or colors. So under macros, this is where you get to create or record different keystrokes for shortcuts for your gaming needs. And this is great here because you can let it record any type of keystrokes that you want and assign it to a button. So for example, if you play Counter-Strike and have a specific keystroke that you use to buy your favorite gun, for instance, assign it to the macro and you can just execute it with one click. So what I have here, as you can see from the screenshot here, is a macro that records the Format Painter feature on the PowerPoint. So it's a keyboard shortcut that I always use, and you can just record it and assign it to a button to execute it extremely quickly. So in the other settings, this is where you can customize your DPI toggle. You can stick to the default as you toggle through the color ranges, but you can also click on the values and adjust it to its maximum, so it will fly through the DPI range faster, so to swap really quickly in game itself. There is also settings for the polling rate here and some other settings. So that is all the features you get with the Hecate Connect app. Not the prettiest in my opinion, but very functional. So overall, I still think that these are pretty good entry-level mice for gaming, and if you're just starting out building your rig and don't want to spend too much on peripherals, but still want features that other more expensive mice can offer, then I think you're looking at the right direction here. So both of these mice offers all that you need in gaming mouse at a value for money price. But I still think the G3M Pro should be compared to the G4M Pro, so perhaps I'll make a comparison video on that soon. So which camp are you? Are you team wired or are you team wireless? So that is it for this comparison review. If you find this video helpful, smash that thumbs up button, share this video everywhere. If you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.